No, I'm
Thank you.
recording it. So basically what I'm going to do is, because I had some people, a lot of you know how to use TradingView. Some don't. Some know how to use it, but certain things they haven't heard about. So all I want to do is basically I'm going to start like from the beginning how to set up your TradingView, go over the tools mainly that I use. And I will also upload it so you can, when you have new people joining, you can share with them so they know, get a good feel for it. And do me a favor, if you have a question in between, just interrupt me and ask, okay? So.
Or drop it in the chat and I'll interrupt her and ask.
Yeah, whatever, just whatever you guys want to do, just make sure you ask questions, because I want this to be interactive and helpful. And I hope that some of you still, learn something from it that you may haven't known about it. So, so I'm gonna go ahead, share my screen. All right, so as I say, I'm gonna do it in a way for that no one knows how to use TradingView. Okay, so really, from the jump. All right, so how you basically start is tradingview.com is a website where you can mark up your charts wherever you are. And why I love TradingView is it's just, for me personally, I find it easier to use. Just the tools of drawing. And what I love is that whatever I draw up on a chart, I can go on another computer or my phone, whatever, be at work, look at this chart and see my markups, not like with MT4, you have it on your computer and that's it. For me, that's the main thing, because I draw it up here at home, my laptop, then maybe I want to sit on my computer. Then at work, I want to look at it and I see the same thing everywhere. And that's one thing that's the most important thing to me. So how you start, go to tradingview.com, and then up here, I already made a new account. So it's going to say sign up for free. Okay, so you can use the free account. It's totally fine and enough to use, okay? Once you have made an account, all you got to do basically is you click on chart. And that's how it's going to look like, okay? That's how it's freshly going to look like when you use it for the first time. Okay, and I'm gonna go over and how to, how you can change the layout, how you can add different pairs, because you see here like weird pairs on the side, right? And how to use, tools, give some tips on certain tools. So I'm just gonna go over that. As I said, if you have questions, just interrupt me, okay? So first of all, when I started this, the first thing that I did is actually make the layout look how I wanna have it look like, okay? So all you do is basically you go into the chart, you do a right click on it, and you go to settings, okay? And right here, you can change the whole look of your trading view, okay? So you can even change the theme if you wanna have it dark. Let me see, you can have it in dark, you can have it in light, you can change that. Let's start from the beginning. Over here on style, you can change the colors of the candles, okay? Make them look how you want. Mine personally are in black and in red. Okay. You can do the borders and the wicks. Okay. Then let me go over here. You can show the line of the current price. I have that activated. Okay. And also show label and price scale, because that way, I'm just seeing that's something different. That's not what I have. Apologize. So back, because it's down here, of course. Down here, you see current price. So ignore that. Then on scales, for me, one of the most important things is countdown to bar close, because it actually shows you how much time is left for the candle to be closed. I think for me personally, that's very, very important. Okay, you can play around, click on the different, you see if you click this, it shows you the pair again. Me personally, I don't need that. Then you can,
to this country, and
can you guys mute your mics unless you have a question? Thank you.
It's just,
then you can change.
The border, Simmons, but
Guys, can you please mute your mics?
What matters is that in carrying
Someone
out,
has his mic on. Okay, I'm gonna just mute it. All right, because that can be annoying. So on the background, you can change the whole look. You can change, you know, as it says, the background color. Okay. Me personally, I get rid of the grid lines in the back. I don't need them. So I just, you know, slide the, I don't know the word for it, but, you know, make them invisible, basically. You see that? Because to me, they're annoying. Okay. Then what else you have? I don't need all this. You can leave that. Change value. You can just click around. You know, everyone has a certain look, like a certain way they want to have their chart be look like, right? For me, pretty cool also is I can change the time zone, because on MT4 you cannot change the time zone. It also is in the time. It always is in the time zone of your broker. Okay, so you cannot change that. On here, you can actually do that. Okay, so you can set it to your time zone wherever you are, you know, so you're not getting confused with the actual times. Pretty cool. You can also add session breaks. Okay, so you have the breaks of the actual days. Also a pretty cool thing. And I think that's about it. Here on the trading, I hide the show buy and sell panel. I don't need that because I'm not trading over Tradingview. For me, Tradingview is strictly for marking up my charts. And if I want to take a trade, I pull out my phone and put in the numbers. Okay. Here you can also set if you want to have, you know, events on the chart, like down here. If you see that, you can hide them. You can leave them, you know, for news and stuff like that. I think it's pretty cool to see that. Okay, so that's basically how you can make your chart itself look. Okay, then here on the side, we have a watch list. Okay, you basically have two ways of adding or switching between pairs. Okay, up here where it says GBP JPY, you can just type in. I'm gonna just type in Euro USD, and it gives you, you know, you see different brokers. I think I made me use FXCM because my broker is not connected with Tradingview, unfortunately. So that's how you can pull up a chart. Me personally, I prefer to use the watch list because that way I can switch like super fast between the pairs I'm using, and I don't always have to type it in over here. Okay, so all you do is I'm gonna just delete everything that is in here because I don't need all that. Okay, just get rid of that. And then basically what you do is you do that once, you type in the pairs that you want, choose them, and then you have them here in your watch list. GBP, JPY, I'm gonna just add like 2, 3. AUD, USD. Okay, that way you have them in here and I can easily like fast switch between the pairs without always typing it in. For me, it just saves a lot of time. Okay, so let me see, what else do we have? Then what I love to do is, because most of us use different time frames, right, to trade. So up here, like as I said, right here, you have where you can type in the pair, and right next to it where it says D, there you can change actually the time frames, right? How it's set in the beginning, you always have to click on the drop-down menu and choose your time frame, okay? You can switch between time frames. To shorten that, what you actually can do is if you click on it, okay, and you hover over one of the time frames, you see there's a little star on the side, right? You can add it to your favorites. And once you do that, let me show you. I'm gonna just click on 15 minutes, 30 minutes, hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, for example, and the daily. And you see now they're all here on the top. Okay, so I can just easily, the same as with the watch list, I can easily switch between time frames without always having the drop down menu. Okay, another cool thing, like you can do that with certain things with tools that you use for drawing up. I'll show that also. For me, that's a pretty good hack to, you know, just save time, you know. Then next to it, you have your candlesticks. Okay, and the different ways is like you have the line chart, candlesticks, bars, and here's the same thing. You could also mark them as favorites, and then you have them all next to each other. You know, for me, for example, I always have the line chart and the candle chart. So I have them both next to each other. Okay, of course, it gets more packed up here, but for me, it just saves time. Okay, this one I actually never used, so I have to look into that. It looks like you can compare pairs. Never used that. Pretty cool. The next one is your indicators. Okay, the little wave symbol here. You can have your indicators. Oops. Okay, what you can do, either you go through this, or you just type in, for example, we want to have a stochastic. Okay, and here the same thing again. You have the little symbol on the side. You can add it to favorites, and boom, you have favorites here. Okay, let me add, what else do we have? MACD, for example. Okay, add it to my favorites, or moving average. Add it to my favorites, and now I have them in here. Okay, so I can easily add them. Okay. Another pretty cool thing is, like, let's say I'm going to do this. Oh yeah. One thing about the free version, you're only allowed to add 3 indicators. I was just reminded of that. Me personally, I have the pro version. But on the free version, you're only allowed to add 3 indicators. Okay. So I've added the EMAs. Okay. And how you can change this, basically, I can hover over here and have the little settings symbol. I can change the settings of the indicator that I'm using. Okay, let's see. I'll just put some random numbers in here right now, because I want to show you guys something that I just figured out a while ago. It was pretty cool. I actually got that from Eric. So let's say you set up your chart in regards to the strategy you're using. Okay, like you have EMAs in there, you have stochastic in there, for example. And let's say you have another strategy. Like, let's say you have 2 strategies, right? It will be annoying if you always have to delete the indicators, add the other ones from the other strategy, right? It will be kind of annoying. So you can actually save time with that. And what you can do is, right next to the indicators, okay, you have a symbol that's called indicator template. You can save different templates of your chart, okay? So what I can do is, for example, I'm going to save this one and just call it EMA. Okay. Call it EMA. Okay. One saved indicator. I apologize for that. As I say, I have a pro version, so it seems like you can only add 1. Okay. But basically what this means is you can switch between indicator setups. Okay, I'm gonna just show you the ones that are on here without hold on. Without always, deleting indicators, adding new ones. It saves time. Okay, pretty cool thing for me. So I'm not gonna use any indicators right now. So then what do we have next? Next one for me personally, a pretty cool one is bar replay. You can actually backtest on Tradingview also. So when you click on this little symbol, it gives you this red line, right? Okay, now I can choose where I place that red line. Okay, I could, zoom out, and let's say I want to place it over here. Once I place it, you're going to see that everything to the right is going to disappear. Okay. Weekly, daily, weekly, monthly. Okay. I'm really sorry for this, guys. I'm still going to show it to you. If you click on it, as I said, it's going to disappear. Okay. And now I can press on play, and it's actually going to replay. Like, it's going to, the market, like, it's actually moving just on a faster track, right? It's a pretty cool thing also to use for backtesting if you don't use MT4 for backtesting or any other software. Okay, so I can actually watch what's happening. Like, I can set up my strategy and then watch what's going to happen. Okay, and I'm going to close this. Okay. Up here is always going to save your chart. Whatever you draw up, it's going to save it. Okay. And then all the way to the far right is a little camera symbol, and it, like, you always see, like, when we have, like, following one of the educators, they send out screenshots of their Tradingview chart, right? That's how they do it. They just click on a little camera symbol, and it takes a screenshot of whatever you have in there right now. Okay, I'm gonna just copy it and show you guys. Now I can paste it, and it took a screenshot of the chart. Okay, this is pretty cool. I use it for my trading journal, you know, so I can keep track of how my chart, like, I do harmonics, so I can do a before and after screenshot, you know, how my harmonic looked before it actually got activated and after. Pretty cool too. Any questions so far from anyone? Okay, I assume not.
Okay, I'm clicking on the indicators. I'm trying to get back to where you were doing your back testing. I didn't see which one of those buttons you pressed.
For the back testing, it's up here. It's the little press like play backwards symbol.
Gotcha. All righty. Thank you.
Like I said, like, I have the premium version. I didn't know the back testing only works on the daily and weekly. For me personally, it was worth it to get the premium version because you can use more indicators. You can actually have two pairs next to each other, look at them at the same time. Obviously, the back testing works better. So for me, it was worth it. Okay, but you don't have to. You can easily use the free version. Okay. Something in the chat. Would you recommend a beginner get the premium version? No, I wouldn't. You know, you're just starting, and in the beginning, you have to get a feel for how to use it, how to draw up the chart, how to draw up a support and resistance, how to draw up trend lines and all that stuff. So in my opinion, you don't need the premium version. Like, overall, you don't need it in general. Like, it works fine. It's just certain things that you cannot do on the free version. But for beginner, I say premium is the free version is completely fine. Okay, Bianca.
I have a question, Steph.
Yeah.
So since you can't backtest on, like, the lower time frames on the regular version, do you know of another way you can backtest, like, using another program, or does anybody?
MT4. I know there are programs out there. I think Nikki and Spila mentioned one, but I've never tried it.
I think the one that they use is only available on not a Mac.
Okay.
They use a Mac, but I'll look into the MT4 one.
Yeah, you can backtest on MT4. If you have questions, just let me know. I can show you.
Okay, thanks.
But as I said, I'm barely using MT4. Like, I do everything on Tradingview. Like, I started with MT4, but to me, it's just, you will see, especially the drawing up, like, it was annoying for me to do that on MT4. So, but yeah, I'm gonna get to that. So let me know if there's anything else, just interrupt me, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and just go over some of the tools here on the side. Start from the top, you know, you have your cross. You can decide which one you want to have, you know, if you prefer, you know, to have a arrow the whole time. Me personally, I use the cross because then, like, if I'm over here, it shows me the price and the date of the candle, basically. So I use the cross, okay? Next one, you have basic tools like the trend line, horizontal line. You actually have a tool to draw a channel, which I find pretty cool. So if I click on that, I can draw up a channel. I'll make one line, drag it over, and have a channel. Okay. And the thing that I love about Tradingview, like on MT4, when you want to draw, for example, a trend line, you have to click, hold, and drag it over the screen, right? You don't have to do that on Tradingview. I just click once and click a second time, done. Okay, like, how often, like, I try to do a trend line on MT4 and just let go, and then it was like this little dot, and I'm like, where's my trend line? you know. For me, one of the main things why it's easier for me to use. Okay. Then you have a pretty cool thing for those that use divergence. Okay. This was shown to me. It's called trend angle. Pretty cool because it shows you easier. Okay, is there actually a divergence? Because we use it. Let's say I want to use this one, right? I can draw here, and it shows me a trend. Of course, it's going down. And now I could do the same on my RSI or stochastic, and it shows me, is it going in the other way? You know, it helps. If it's obvious like this, of course, you don't really need it. But sometimes, you know, on the stochastic or the RSI, it's like very close, and you can't really tell, okay, is it really, you know, going in a certain direction? You can use that tool and it shows you the angle. Okay. Then you have, you know, horizontal line, of course. And whatever tool, like you see, once I click the tool, like once I draw it up in my chart, this little pop-up shows up. Okay, let me show you again. I draw it up, boom. Okay, and here I can change the settings of the line. Like I can change the color, I can change the thickness of the line. And for example, I place a trend line and like, oh, it's not exactly at the price where I want it to be, right? I can click on the little wheel, or I can double click on the line. That also opens the settings. And I can click on coordinates. And let's say I wanted to have it at 500. I can change the number, and then it puts that line or whatever you have drawn right where you want to have it. Okay. Then one thing that I use a lot is the horizontal ray. I use that for, as I said, my harmonics when I want to draw in, okay, that's my entry, there's my TP. So what you also can do is with whatever drawing tool you use, right here you also have the settings, you know, you can change the thickness. You can actually add a text. Okay, let's say I want to call this my entry. Okay, I can add a text, show text. And now you see it's right here. And you can choose where you want to have it. Okay, let's say I want to have it on the top and I want to have it on the right. Okay, so now you always know, okay, this line is my entry line. Wherever you scroll, it stays there. Okay, and let's say you have certain lines, for example, when you draw a line for support and resistance on different time frames. Okay, let's say you have this and this color for the daily support and resistance. You have this and this color for 4-hour resistance. You can save them as templates, so you don't always have to draw them up the same way and like change the color and whatnot. So what I use, for example, I have my entry and I want to use it the same way always. I can save it as a template. Okay, I can click Save As and then call it entry. Okay. So now let's say I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna draw a new one. Okay, let me see. I have a red one and I place this one. It's like, no, but that's actually my entry. You know, like I want to use that line as my entry. So what I can do is I go back to settings, click on template, click on entry, and boom, it changes back to what I have set earlier. Okay, so if you have certain things that you always use, you can save a bit of time with that. Okay. Then one cool thing is also whatever drawing tool you have, you see again, you have the little add to favorites, right? So I have that with the drawing tools that I use the most, like the horizontal ray, my harmonics, my Fibonacci. Those tools that I use the most, you can basically have a quick launch bar, something like that. So I'm gonna show you if I click on this, okay, trend line, boom, it shows up here, right? Let me add some more. Let me add the horizontal ray. Let me add the channel. Let me add the arrow. Okay, nope, that didn't work. Let me add a pitchfork. Why doesn't, whoops, pitchfork, right? Let me add the Fibonacci. So you can have all the tools that you use, oops, most of the time you can have them here, you know, and can move it around. And that way you don't always have to go here to the side, open the drop down menu, choose the one you want to use. You can just go over here and it's always there. Okay, you can move it around and it saves time. I think it's pretty cool. Let me see, no questions, right? No. All right, next one. I would just suggest, click around, look what tools you have. I'm gonna just show you a few ones. You have fibs, of course, here. The regular, most of us know these tools. Okay, next one is you have a brush, you have rectangle. I use my rectangle for, of course, my zones. Okay. The same, you have the settings here, you can change it. Do you want to have a background? Do you know, how thick you want to have your border? All that stuff. So you can change that. If, for example, you want to have your zone, and I wanted to go over the whole chart, I don't want to, drag it over the whole chart. What you can do is you just go to coordinates, and one of the bars, you make it a minus, a negative, and then just add some zeros, for example. Now, if I zoom out, oops, you see that my zone is now over my whole chart without me having to drag it all the way. Okay, just place it where you want to have it, and then just change the number, and you're gonna have it over your whole chart. Oh, see, that's a nice zone anyway. That's funny. I think that's very, very cool also, that you can't easily, have it over your whole chart. What else we have here? Ellipse, of course. For those of you guys that do, for example, teacups, you have the arc symbol in here. You can use that, okay? If I draw it up here, go over, boom, you have a teacup. Okay, for those that, don't want to use the strategy themselves and not just with the scanner, you can use that to mark them up. Okay, then you have the text. You have a lot of different ways, to place text on your chart. Regular, of course. Let me show you the difference. I'm gonna just put test, right? And it stays there where I put it. So if I scroll over, it's gone. Okay. Then you also have the anchor text. Test 1, 2, 3. Let's say I'm gonna put it down here in the corner. And now whatever I do, wherever I scroll, the text stays there. Okay. I find that pretty cool. For example, let's say you look at a chart on different time frames and you can put notes in here. You can write, for example, let me say downtrend on the daily. Okay, and then let's say strong resistance on the 4-hour. For example, I'm gonna just make something up right now. You can add a background, you can add a border, you can play around with that. And now you have this info wherever you scroll, okay? If you change your time zone, whatever, it's always there, okay? You have things like call out, you can click on it and, have it point to a certain thing, to a certain price area, if you want to do, put some notes on it. It's a pretty cool way to mark up your charts, put notes on it, have a good overview. So you just play around with it. Next one, of course, harmonics. You have a head and shoulders in here, which I find pretty cool. I don't think that's on MT4. So it's basically when you click on it, you can draw up a head and shoulders. Okay, pretty cool. Any questions? Okay. You have tool, you can draw up Elliott waves for those that use it. So you don't have to draw up single lines. You can literally draw it up without, putting, let me see, there's a question, chat. Oh, mute your mics, please. Yes, thank you. Now, I'm going to show one of my favorite tools. I don't know how I can just mute everyone. I'm not sure if I can do that. Let me see. Manage participant. Oh yeah, mute all. Okay. All right. I'll just mute all. All right, I have you all muted, so just raise your hand if you have a question or something. Now, one of my favorite tools, I know I've talked to a few people that have, seen this tool on IML TV or whatnot, but never knew how to use it or where to find it. It's called a long position and short position tool. For me personally, it helped me a lot with getting used to counting pips, when I wasn't able to do it in my head. So I use this tool a lot, okay? And it basically helps you calculating the pips. It helps you give you your exact entry level, exact entry price if you don't know how to calculate it, okay? So let me show you. I'm gonna start with the long positions. Basically, it works the same way. Long position, of course, is for buys. Short position is for sells, okay? So I'll use here. Okay, so let's say, let me find a good buy. All right. So let's say, let me put a line here. I want to enter right here. Okay. All right. Let's say that's where I want to enter. And I want to go for, let's say 100 pips. Okay. And I don't know how to calculate that. Okay. So what I can do is I can use the tool. I can click on here where I want to enter. Okay. And then I can either double click on it or go to the settings wheel. So now what I can do is you have this, oops, sorry guys. Under coordinates, you can now put in certain numbers and it will calculate, it will show you the exact price. Okay, so let's say our entry was at 1.345. Okay, that's where our entry is. That's where we got in. Okay, now we want to say, okay, my TP, I want it to be 100 pips. So under profit level, I put 100. One important thing is it says ticks, it's not pips. What it just means is whatever amount you put in there, let it be 50, let it be 49, let it be 30, you have to add a 0 at the end. Okay, so in this case, it's 100 pips, so I have to put another 0. Okay, if it's 49, it has to be 490. Okay, very, very important. So now, I already clicked. Let me go back. I'm gonna just do 200, or let me do 300, and a 0. Once I click out of that field, you're gonna see this price change, okay, and you're gonna see the actual drawing change. So it basically calculates it for you. And right now, you have your entry point, right, where you got into your trade, and now you can take this price and type it into your MT4. And you don't have to worry about, okay, like how much is it? Like you're trying to calculate it in your head. It does it for you. All you need to know is how much, like how many pips do you actually want to have, okay? The stop level, the same. Let's say I want to have my, I'm going to go crazy. Of course, we don't want to do that. Let's say 700. I do 700, add a 0, click out of that field, boom, it calculates it for me. Okay, so now you can put the numbers into your phone. To me, that helped me a lot when I wasn't able to calculate it in my head. And the same, basically, it works the same with the short position tool. It's just the other way around then, of course. Very, very powerful, and I recommend that, especially to beginners, to use that. And with the time, you will get better and get to a point where you can actually calculate it in your head, okay? Then you have a tool that's called price range. Also pretty cool, you know, if I want to know, okay, let's say I want to, how many pips is it from here to up here, you know, and it stays there. And it shows me it's 1,348 pips. Okay. So that way you can measure. The difference between this one and the ruler is this one actually stays on the chart. And if you want to use this ruler here, right here, you can also measure the pips, but once you click away, it's gone. Okay, so that's the difference between these two. Here you have tons of symbols. Few more that I'm going to show is this here at the bottom. It says stay in drawing mode. So when you click that, let me give my trend line, for example. If I click that, I can continue drawing trend lines without having to continuously click on the symbol, or I want to draw a next trend line and the next one. I don't have to do that. I can just draw as long as this symbol is on. Okay, if this is off and I draw a trend line, I can't draw anymore. Okay, I would have to choose it again. Okay. One more thing that I love is sometimes we have drawings in there. Let's say a trend line or support and resistance, and it can easily happen that you click on it and you move it by accident, right? You can actually lock them. So if I click on a specific drawing and the settings bar pops up, you have this little lock symbol. If I click on it, that red line now, I can't move it. Okay, it's locked. So whatever I do, I cannot like accidentally move it. Okay, if you want to move all, like if you want to lock all the tools on your chart, you can use the lock symbol here on the side. Lock all drawing tools.
That's so helpful because that happens to me all the time.
Yeah, it happened to me a lot. Huh?
I always move stuff on accident.
Yeah. Especially it happened to me when I looked on my Tradingview on my phone. Since the screen is smaller and I have, let's say, a harmonic drawn up and I want to do something and then I accidentally move the harmonic, you know, so that way you can just lock it and it stays there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Another thing you can use, you see that little eye symbol right here? It's right here at the bottom, you see it too. If you click on that, it hides the drawing that I was just on. Okay, it doesn't delete it, it only hides it. Okay, let's say you have a tons of drawings in there and you want to just hide a certain like 5 or 6 of that. What you do is you right click on the chart and an object tree. And right here, it shows you all the drawings that you have on the current chart. And you just see right here is the horizontal line and I have that hidden. If I click on it, it's back. Okay. That way, if you don't want to, you know, remove everything, but you want to keep it, but it's in the way right now, you can just hide it. Okay. If you actually want to completely wipe off your chart, down here you have a little can symbol, a trash can symbol. Just click on it, and everything is gone. Okay. One more thing that I like is sometimes, you know, we zoom in. And let's say, okay, it's like too small. I want to make it a bit bigger. Okay. So what you can do is you can click here on the side where it shows the price, right? I can click on it and move that. Okay. I can make it all a little smaller or all a little bit bigger. Okay. If you want to go back to the actual look how it looks, you have these little symbols here on the side, on the bottom, and you just click on that little wheel, whatever, and reset your chart. Boom, it goes back to how it normally looks. Okay. One thing that's important to me is right now, I can only move the chart to the side. I can't move it up or down, right? So what you can do is here on the bottom where it says auto, if you turn that off, I can move my chart up or down, whatever direction I want to. Okay, if you click on it again, it's back to just going sideways. Okay. One thing I know that we talked in our 30-day push, I watched a recording, was about setting alerts on Tradingview. Okay, and how you do that basically is, you see when I have my crosshair, right? And here on the side, you see that little plus symbol? Okay. I can click on that plus symbol and I can add an alert. I can also do it up here with that little clock symbol, but this for me is easier, it's just faster. And you see now it plays the line. And if I want to change that, I can just double click on it. And now I have certain settings. I can choose, okay, when do I want to get their alert? When it's crossing up, crossing down. I normally just leave it on crossing. Do you want to just have it once or every time? When do you want to have that alert to be expired? And how do you want to be alert? Pop-up, play sound, you can send an email, you can send a text message, okay? And it works pretty cool. I love doing that. Like I have it set to pop-up, play sound, and an email. And then you can either delete it and save it, okay? And then here on the side, the second symbol, you see, it's gonna show you all the alerts you have. I think a max is 10, as far as I know. I'm not sure. I know for my paid version, it's 10. I'm not sure about the free version, but for those, because I remember, I think it was Dwayne was talking about, he was using call levels, and on call levels you can only put 5 alerts.
Where's your wings?
Hmm?
What
And,
wings? You ordered wings.
No, I didn't.
I just saw your order.
You can only do 5 on call levels. For those that don't know, call levels is an app that you can use to also get alerts for different pairs. You can put in the pair you want to have an alert. You can put up the price. So you can basically use both in combination. Let's say you have 5 set already on call levels, but you want to do more. You can add them in your Tradingview. Okay, you can set alerts over here. Okay. Let me see the chat. I want some. I want some wings too. Oh man. No. All right. So let me see chat. All right. So that's basically the main things. Danielle. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope I didn't forget anything, but those are basically the main things that I use. So let me know.
What was that app you were just talking about?
It's called
that gives you. I'm sorry.
Call levels.
Call levels. Thank you.
Yeah, call levels. Yeah, maybe everyone is using that as far as I know. Anything else? Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
See at the bottom of the screen, it says strategy tester.
Yep.
Yeah, what is that, and do you use that?
I don't use it. To test it, apply it to the chart, use the symbol. No, me personally, I haven't tried it out. But as I say, you know, you can use building strategies. I haven't tried it out. Play around with it. Because yeah, I'm doing harmonics, so I don't need a strategy tester.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, no, fine. If you try it out, you know, you can always let us know how it works. You also have text notes here. You can, you know, leave some notes for yourself. For example, you can put in, Sienna, you can put in your trading plan in here. For example.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know, you can put notes in here, and that way you always have it here and always look at it, for example.
I was just about to say that tool is super helpful, especially for trading plans, to have it right in your face all the time.
Yeah,
utilize it.
Definitely. Oh yeah, one more thing that I just thought of, since we're talking about it. Pretty cool thing. I'm gonna just add the stochastic. Okay. Pretty cool is if you have, or let's say we add 2. Let me add the MACD. So let's say you have 2 indicators on there, right? It takes a lot of space, and your actual chart is kind of small now, right? What you actually can do is, without deleting, because you want to keep your indicators, you can just double click on the actual chart, and it's going to hide the indicators. If you double click again, it brings them back. Okay. That way, you know, if you need some more room for drawing up, for example, that way you have just more space. You use the actual whole screen for it. So, yeah, anything else? Anything else? You rock, Steffi. Thanks for the thank you. Thank you. We don't have that many people on. I know there were actually a few more, but they didn't show up, and some people left. Yeah, but it's okay. I'm recording it, so I'm going to share it with the whole team for those that want it. Thank you, sweetie. So any other questions? Oh yeah, also like when you have your stock, it's the same with the indicators. If you want to change your stock settings, you're gonna have the little wheel here, and then you can change your settings for whatever indicator you're using. Okay. I saw something in the chat. It's not coming up. There we go. I'm sure many will benefit from the recording. This was great. Thank you. Yeah, I know it's Sunday. So yeah, that's basically it. Let me know, like, I'm gonna stay on for a second. If anyone has another question, let me know. Otherwise, we're gonna end it here. Anything else? Nope. Okay. But yeah, then I would say thank you guys for hopping on, for allowing me to share that with you. Chat, gonna hop off. Okay. All right, guys. So I would say I'm gonna end it right here. Thank you guys for hopping on. Once that video is converted and uploaded to YouTube, I would share it with you guys. Okay. All right.
Yay! Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.